Welcome to the Dalorrian Show. I'm your host, Dalorrian. I don't know why I said it like that. Hope you had a good week. What are we doing here? I've been sleeping. Like last week I talked about how I wasn't sleeping a lot, and now I feel like I'm sleeping a lot. And turns out, if you don't sleep a lot, that feels bad. And it feels weird, and you feel taken advantage of or something. I don't know. But if you sleep a lot, that also feels not great. So here we are. But no, like I slept, I have to go back in time here. I slept last night. And I slept today for a couple hours. And dozed off like later in the day when it was just me and new baby. And then night before I slept like a good bit. And then the night before, I feel like I slept like a lot during the day. Like, and I'm just kind of like catching up and recovering. And it kind of sucks. Like when you go on E for so long, your body's like, all right, we're going to get horizontal for a while here. We're going to sleep a lot to try to recover, which is not great when you have little kids who don't ever recover or take breaks, really. So yeah, so I'm a little dazed, but I guess I'd rather be dazed on sleep than not. And though this is a podcast about video games, I usually start off by talking about how tired I am. And it won't always be that way. When the children are older, I'm sure it'll get better. We'll find out. I watched a few movies. I usually don't watch a lot of movies. I usually just kind of, if I'm with the baby, like in the bed or something, and feeding it and kind of playing with it or something, I'll have like something on in the background maybe. And then if she falls asleep, I know she's not going to be asleep long, so I'll turn on like a movie or something. Or not a movie. I'll usually turn on like a TV show, like a comforting TV show. So like for instance, I've watched The Office since I've been on paternity leave. Again, I've watched some Parks and Rec. These are all just shows that I kind of already know. And if you miss a conversation, it doesn't matter. You can just pick right back. It's like you don't even have to watch it. I've watched a little bit of Futurama, and then like some Bob's Burgers slides in there here and there. Random, I know, but that's it's kind of what's been on the playlist. But recently I was like, hey, why don't I try to like get some movies? And I won't be able to watch the movies all the way through, but I can chunk them out and just catch up on some that I'm behind on. And so the ones that I decided to watch were Ant-Man Quantumania, which everyone was like, this is it's horrible. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which everyone was like, I feel like nobody online was like, I mean, the only thing I remember reading about that movie online was like, hey, if you don't like to see animals harmed, don't watch this movie. And boy, were they right. But no one ever said like, this was great or this was bad. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of that. And then Fantastic Four. And which one of these do you think was the best movie to me? Find out next week. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about it right now. And spoiler alert, Fantastic Four was to me kind of the best one. And Fantastic Four is not like, it didn't blow the roof off my doors, so to speak. But it was fine. And like the thing is that, movies to me aren't really that good. Like you can watch a movie and a lot of stuff can happen and it can be like, that was good. And then you think about it later and you're like, that was not good. The thing about movies is I have to think about them later for them to be really good to me. And with Fantastic Four, I don't know if I can say it's good because I don't know if I'm going to think about it ever again. Like truly, like, oh, that was great. And I really like this part. And oh, that was so, like, I really enjoyed that. And you know, and maybe that's like a young man's game, is to like get into movies, or maybe I'm super depressed. I don't know, one or the other. But we'll talk about a one-on-one, like one by one here. Ant-Man Quantumania. I think that's the one I started with. And you know, man, like when I turned that on, I was like, Quantumania. Okay, I was like, all right, this movie is going to be Ant-Man goes into all these different universes, and he has to like find his way back or something. What I actually got was a daughter movie who's like, hey, you suck because you're not an activist. And he's like, I can be an activist. And she's like, nah, fuck you, you're not an activist. And then most of the movie's about I want to say Ant-Man's mom, but that's not right. Ant-Man's girlfriend's mom is like the main character of this movie. And it's like, it shows her journey, and they all, like, spoiler alert, by the way, spoiler alerts all the way through. We're going to talk about this a little bit. They all get sucked into the quantum realm, which is like the tiny realm. Like you go down, you go quantum, you go so tiny, so far down tiny that you're like stuck into like molecules and shit and atoms and stuff. Oh, but it's even smaller than that, subatomic, I guess. But it was weird because like in this realm, if you go to the subatomic realm, it turns out that there's like a whole universe. There's like cities and like people groups and politics, and it's all weird, and they're all weird aliens. And like, so when I was watching that movie, I had also watched Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe I watched Guardians of the Galaxy first. I think I watched that first because like when I was watching, I watched that first because when I was watching Ant-Man, I was like, hey, are we like, I was like, is this the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, because all the aliens, like that whole movie, just like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's very shiny, it's very shimmery, and all of the aliens look very like shiny, shimmery, silly. Whereas like you have like Star Wars, it's like gritty. And I mean, well, the original Star Wars movies were kind of gritty, kind of earthy. And then the prequels were like, ugh, you know, like they were like super shiny, like so shiny that's like, this is fake. And it was, but turns out Hayden Christensen's hair was a wig in that. He tweeted that recently. He was like, by the way, you know, my hair in those movies, it was a wig the whole time. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I found out that Jim in The Office during like season 3 was also wearing a wig. And it made me think maybe I should get a wig. Anyway, so in this universe with Ant-Man, like it's all shitty aliens. And then Bill Murray shows up. And I'm like, what the hell? It's like, is he out of money? Is Bill out of money? And he's stupid and everything's dumb. And then, but I'll say this, man, Kang, like, and so they're not doing the Kang thing anymore. They're not doing the Danky Kang thing anymore because he beat a woman or something, right? That guy, the actor, I think he was in one of those Rocky movies, and then they were going to make him like the bad guy. And he was in Loki. He was in the Loki TV show, and he was like, they showed him in like the multiple copies of the bad. He was like the bad guy and the good guy and the bad guy at the same time or whatever. And but yeah, so he was in it, and he was like Martin Luther King, right? And he's in there, and I say that because yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. Anyway, so he's in there, man, and he's fucking like, hey, and he helps Ant-Man's girlfriend's mom try to get out of the quantum realm. It turns out he's an asshole. Turns out all the other copies of him, of other Kangs, banished him because he's the bad Kang. All the other Kangs are good, but he's the bad one. He's the didn't do nothing Kang, apparently. And so she's like, I'm not going to let you out of here. And then she blows up his orb, and then he can't escape. And then so he creates an entire society in the quantum realm or whatever. So this is not good. This is not fun. This is all just bullshit. But I mean, I understand they had to like try to tie it together to this whole Kang thing they were going to do, which got botched because, you know, you hate to see it. Another black man beats somebody up. I mean, look, I mean, I'm not going to say, look, I mean, what are you going to do? It happens. I mean, to be fair, like, there's white people that are bad. I don't want to come off as sounding super racist here. It's just like if you said like, hey, there's another white guy raping kids, I wouldn't be like, oh, you can't say that. I'd be like, yeah, man, there is. Yeah, it turns out there's a lot of white dudes that do that. Yeah, it turns out there's a lot of white dudes that do that. So it is what it is. Okay, we live in a society, and it's kind of weird. It's a weird society, but it's comfortable right now. But it could go away at any minute, probably. Which reminds me, I need to watch Fallout. So anyway, right? Like we're not going to get into it, but Kang. My whole point with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was that he was like the best thing about this movie. And like as the movie went on, like, and I know they didn't film this, like when they film movies, by the way, they don't typically film it in order of like, we're going to shoot the beginning, then the end. They shoot everything based on location, and then they edit it together as a story. Like they get like, all right, we're here on today, we're shooting this, we're shooting that, you're here, we're shooting that. And they shoot their scenes like out of order. But for whatever reason, the way it played out with the editing is I felt like he got worse as the movie went on, but like he was really good for like the first half of the movie. And I was like, wow, like kind of like I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff. I've only seen him play like Kang, and I've seen like clips and memes of the Apollo Creed movie or whatever. And but I never saw that. And it's like, but I saw him like acting, and I was like, you know what? Like he's like the only one trying here. Because Michael Douglas is the joke guy in the movie, and he's like, God, I didn't see that coming. You see how I just did that? You see how I just said that? Watch this. Watch that again. This is, let me show you what Michael Douglas did. Now, to be fair, they're all fucking 90 years old. It shouldn't even be a movie. The movie should not have been about a grandma with Diane Keaton or whatever. Did she die? I think is that Diane? Okay, two questions. Is that Diane Keaton? And did she die? And I think the question is yes and yes. Now I have to look it up. Ant-Man, Diane Keaton. Oh, who am I thinking? Okay, Ant-Man, Quantumania. God, who is that? Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, Michelle Pfeiffer. They're the same person, guys. They're the same person. Like, as we get older, they're the same person. Okay? So forgive me. I was wrong there. By the way, Evangeline Lilly, Freckles from Lost, she's the Wasp or whatever. She had like a traumatic brain injury lately or something. Like she's recovering, like she hit her head on a rock or some shit. Like what the hell? Anyway, bad things happen. But Jonathan Majors, I'm going to call him out because everyone else, even Paul Rudd, just kind of sucked dick. They were all just kind of phoning it in, But Jonathan Majors, be he a woman beater or whatever he did, like I don't know what he did. I mean, he could be why was he canceled? Let's see. Harassment and assault conviction. Marvel Studios announced they would be parting ways with Majors. Yeah, he was originally set to appear in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. Damn, so they got rid of 2 movies, and they're going straight on to Doctor Doom, man, or whatever the hell. Wow. Anyway, he was the best part of the movie, and I'll just say it, like maybe that bitch he beat on was lying, dude. I don't know, man. Maybe we get the Kang boys back together, man. Maybe these bitches are tripping, dog. Anyway, I'm kidding. I hope that everyone involved is fine. I hope everyone's fine. I hope hope it wasn't that bad. I don't know what happened. But yeah, man, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. Like, he kind of ruined his career, in a lot of ways. He'll make a comeback. Like, in 20 years, he'll show up in something and everybody will be like, oh my God, is that him? And like, nobody will care anymore. Then he went to Yale, the Yale School of Drama. He was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. I want to be in The First White Man of Los Angeles or something. Can I be in the movie The First White Man in Space or something? Anyway, so yeah, but he was the best part. Just reading about him here. So like if I saw outside of the beating of people, let's see if it says anything. Personal life relationships. He has a daughter. Began mattress. Megan Good acquired citizenship. Assault. Okay, 911 emergency call requesting medical assistance in his New York residence after he claimed he had arrived home found his former girlfriend Grace Jabari unresponsive. Holy shit. He said he spent the night at a hotel. Majors later arrested on assault, strangulation, and harassment charges stemming from domestic abuse with Jabari prior to who sustained minor injuries in her head. And, okay, oh my god. So he beat up a lady and like knocked her unconscious and strangled her out. He Epsteined her. Okay, that has done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name. So he did it, and then he called because he's like, oh fuck, I didn't do it. Turns out that didn't work out. Anyway, okay, so he was great. So he was, I mean, I'll be honest with you, he was the best part. And, you know, he's good at strangling and beating, I guess, but he was also pretty good at acting. I mean, like I said, as the movie went on, like towards the end, I was like, maybe it was me, maybe I was just like out of gas with this movie, you know, I don't know, but I was like, just get it to be done. You know, but the whole movie's a wash, right? Because he did the thing. You could tell the whole Kang thing was teetering because of leadership, and everyone was phoning it in, you know, and so it is what it is. Speaking of phoning it in, I know this is a video game podcast. Let's move on to the Guardians of Galaxy Volume 3. And I won't spend a lot of time on this because I already mentioned it, but like, one, I don't mind the way these movies look. Like, they look kind of like too shimmery. The CG is a little too bright and shimmery to me. Like, it's dirty. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy are dirty movies, but they're pretty. Does that make sense? Like, they're not like, think of Dune. Have you seen Dune? Most people have seen Dune. And I'm not saying like I just love Dune, but when you watch Dune, it's kind of gritty. And I'm not just saying that because they're in fucking sand and they're on a desert planet, okay? I'm just saying, even like the ships and stuff, like nothing looks extremely clean. Everything looks very lived in, industrial even. With Guardians of the Galaxy, even if something looks junked up, the way that it's filmed and the way that it's edited and like the hues and the colors and the LUTs on the camera, like, or whatever, like the editing, the LUTs, filters, or whatever, like everything, it looks very shiny and kind of pretty. It's like pretty garbage. And I, for one, am not just a huge fan of that. And James Gunn or whatever, I don't know, he's like a pedophile or something, I think. Like, he likes it, I guess. So he did it and whatever. But this one, like, so yeah, this was just a lot of animal brutality, like fake animals, which is very sad. And then everyone else is just kind of phoning it in again. Everyone else was just kind of phoning it in again. And you hate to see it, but they phoned it in. And with this movie, you know, with these movies, I think of like, how are they going to tie this together with other movies? And I'll say, like, as the movie ended, again, spoilers here, as the movie ended, like, the Guardians have all kind of split ways. They've all kind of separated in such a way that makes you think they're probably not going to get back together again for any meaningful reason. There probably will not be like another end game situation where they're going to come back and do something. Like, this is pretty much like, this feels like this is it, right? And yeah, so but it seems like Chris Pratt, he's probably going to show up again. Because of the credits is like, Star-Lord will return. But will he, like, you know, who knows? I guess old Kevin Feige is running things over there now with another person, and so maybe they'll do it. Anyway, like, there's not much to say about this movie. I can't really think of anything that stood out to me that was like, oh, that was interesting or neat. There was another black guy villain. I'll say that. Like, Kang is a black guy who was bad, Martin Luther King, and then you had this guy who was the evolutionarist, or the visionary, the evolutionary something. He just, like, he tries to create the perfect races of all races and animals, and like you said, another black guy is a furry, basically. He's creating like humanoid animals and making planets out of them. Another black guy's a furry. What a stereotype, by the way. But anyway, they killed him, I think. So these black guys are dropping like flies, man. It's just, you know, the Wakanda guy died. He died, and everybody really liked him. I can't remember his name, and I hate that he died because he was actually pretty good. The Black Panther guy. Again, I can't remember his name. I never saw that movie. but I saw him in the Avengers, and he was pretty good. Now I think there's a lady Black Panther who like runs the show. Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal. He's all over the place, and he's always the same kind of guy. He's like, how can my name's Pedro, but I'm here to be white. Want to be the whitest guy I can, you know, and which I mean is fair. I mean, like that's the whole goal, right? The goal, like I think the goal is like, let's get Pedro in, and like he's going to be appealing to everybody, which he is. I mean, he is. And to be fair, Pedro's great. I mean, look, man, when I see Pedro, I don't know what you see. When you see Pedro Pascal, you probably see maybe you see Dr. Reed or the Stretch Man from Fantastic Four, Stretchy Man. Maybe you see The Last of Us. I want to say Jake Paul. That's not his name. Oh, I want to say Logan. That's not his name. That's Wolverine. I can't think of it. Saul Goodman. No. Joel. There we go. Got it. Took me a minute. Joel from The Last of Us. Maybe you think of him as Joel. And he's been in other movies as well. I think of him as the Viper in Game of Thrones, who is bisexual, you know, a rogue, and he got his brains popped out by the mountain. Like when I see him, like I'm watching Fantastic Four, and I'm looking at him, and all I can see when I look at him in every scene is just the mountain putting his thumbs into his eyes like this, and then squeezing his head, yelling, and then his brains literally popping out of the top of his skull. And everyone's screaming, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" So I see him in this, and he's with the beautiful Vanessa Kirby, by the way. She's so beautiful. That girl's so pretty. He's hanging out here with like up in here in New York and on Earth 824 or whatever, like whatever universe this is. This is like a multi-universe. This is not the Avengers universe, clearly. And I just see him, and he's like, "Hey, you know, I got to do this whiteboard. I'm on the whiteboard. I'm trying to solve a problem because I'm smart." And then plop, 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 brains come out of his head. I'm like, "Nah, fuck." And I shake my head, and I'm like, "Ah." And I look back, and then he's back to doing his thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm married to you, Vanessa Kirby. I love you." And then his brains go out. I'm like, Jesus, God, I can't fucking. And that, you know, and then there he is, right? But I'll say this though about the Fantastic Four movie, it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't like better to me than any of like the Avengers movies. Like some people will be like, Ultron was shit. I don't think it was better than any of that. To me, with all the Avengers movies, those are just fun to me because like everybody's there. It's like, what makes those movies good? Because like most of the movies are not good. Like most of the movies that are about the heroes themselves are not good. Like a Hulk movie by himself, probably not going to be very good. A Captain America movie, most of those were not very good. The Winter Soldier was very good. Iron Man, the first one was good. The other ones were kind of trash. Spider-Man, those are just so like the one where they have the 3 Spider-Men come in was pretty good. And Thor, I liked the one, I like Ragnarok. I like that one. Love and Thunder was retarded, but the Ragnarok one was good. And the Hulk was in that one. And like, here's the thing, like whenever, like if they just do a movie or a show about the hero and it's just them, like it's kind of not good. Like it's only, like when you bring all of the heroes together, I don't know why. Like maybe it's because like you don't have to flesh them out and you can just do whatever. And they like, maybe it's because like they all have like their 5 minutes of action and all their 5 minutes of dialogue. That's like, it's like the TikTokification of a movie where it's like, it's just short attention spans. Like hero A, I'm Captain America. Hero B, I'm Thor. Hero C, I'm Black Panther. I'm Doctor Strange. Like I think it's just because like boom, 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 and that's why it's entertaining. But like the Doctor Strange movies, they're fine. Like they're fine, but it's like, I mean, like it's anything. Like I'll watch these movies and I'm like, is anybody else going to show up? Like, can we get somebody else in here? And it's like, who? I don't care. Just I need someone else to show up here. But I think it makes sense because like I think if you watch like a like if you watch like a soap opera, right? Think of you're like watching like the Days of Our Lives or Downton Abbey or something like that. Or how about this? Wrestling. WWE. Okay. Let's say you were like, we're gonna do a Monday Night Raw. Dalorrian. And I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. Who's coming out tonight? And they're like, well, we really want to focus on CM Punk tonight. Okay, cool. CM Punk, so who's he fighting? Maybe he's going to fight Cody Rhodes in a ladder match. And they're like, no, why don't we just do, it's just going to be CM Punk. And it's like, was he fighting anyone? Yeah, he can fight someone. Like, yeah, but we're going to bring someone in who no one knows. And it's going to be like 3 hours of just CM Punk fighting people. We're not going to do like we're going to let him do multiple matches. He's older now. He's not very good. We'll let him take breaks. But tonight, it's all about Punk. And the whole time you watch that, you would be like, please God, let someone come, like let someone show up. But I do that already with wrestling. Like when I watch like Monday Night Raw, which I haven't in a long time, or I watch a pay-per-view, I'm always sitting like, please, like who is the surprise person? Like I'm just there for the surprise person. And if there's not a surprise person, then I'm kind of disappointed. And like that's all that wrestling is to me now. And I don't know if that's a me thing or if that's just like all that wrestling has left. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably a me thing. But so with these Marvel movies, that's kind of the way it is. But I think Fantastic Four worked because you got 4 of them. So it's kind of like an X-Men thing. Because like I think X-Men works, right? Which not all those movies are good, but if you have X-Men and you have a lot of men and women who are X people, then that's actually, to me, more entertaining because I think it's like it breaks it up a little bit. And I would rather have an X-Men movie about all of them than just like a Wolverine movie, personally. But what I did like about Fantastic Four is the aesthetic was great. I feel like the aesthetic of like the 60s reality, like, you know, Fallout does like a 50s reality where like everything, even though we have advanced technology, everything just stayed the style of the 50s. Fantastic Four in this movie, everything just stayed the style of the 60s, which is neat. Like kind of space age, which is cool. I like that. And then so everyone dresses that way. And then the thing that was really good about the movie is that everyone was like sold on this universe. Like no one ever broke character or ever broke the fourth wall or anything that would make you think that like they look at the camera, and they do this in a lot of other like Marvel movies and Avenger movies where they like make a joke or they do something and it's like, this is ridiculous, isn't it? Ha ha. And they didn't do any of that shit. And even though it was all pretty ridiculous, like they were sold on it, and it was like they all acted like they were in the universe that they were in. We're like they're in this weird 60s futuristic bubble, and these are the laws of the universe, and we're just going to act like this is the world we live in, and we're like 60s people, and we kind of talk like that, and we're just going to like that's our reality. And no one ever broke character, and because of that, it was good and it was fun. Because of that, it was good and it was fun. I don't say good, it was fine. But yeah, so with that, you know, they're teasing like all of the other movies and things like that, and you know, it is what it is. I think there's like a trailer with like the Thing and the Wakanda lady or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, well, I'll probably end up watching it. I've watched enough now. I mean, is Ant-Man gonna be in it? Guardians of the Galaxy? Probably not. I don't know, man. Like, if I hope that the Doomsday, Doctor Doom, Avengers is good. Thor's going to be in it. If it's not good, it's not good. I mean, like, look, we have been through the best Marvel stuff. We have lived it. It was fun. And now it's over. It's like we have to accept that. We had to accept that with Star Wars. We had to accept that with Lord of the Rings. And for the time in my life, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we have lived through it. And then they started making all this other stuff. And it's like, it's kind of confusing because you're like, well, I want to be in, I want to like it. But it's like, you don't have to. You can be okay with just that from Iron Man to Endgame, that was kind of peak as far as like that whole story went. And now it's over, and it will probably never be that good again. Ever. You'll always compare it to that now. So even if it is really good, you'll always like, even if they ever have another Iron Man, it's just gonna be like, okay. For me, it's gonna be like, okay. I hope he does well. Not for me. You know, and I think I'm just an old guy. If they have another Aragorn, okay. If they have another Luke Skywalker, all right. Good luck. Hope it's good. Not my Luke Skywalker. Not my. These aren't my people. But I hope it's good. Batman's the same way. It's like, and I don't, you know, like with Batman, like my childhood Batman is like Michael Keaton. My adult Batman would be my adult Batman. That sounds X-rated. Oh my god, Batman. No, my adult Batman's Christian Bale, which not perfect, but it was Christopher Nolan that made it great, right? Like Batman was like not even the main focus of those movies to me. He was like Liam Neeson was the star of the show, and I would even say that Commissioner Gordon, hell, Alfred, Michael Caine, like everyone around Christian Bale and Batman Begins was like peak. And then Batman, The Dark Knight, of obviously, Heath Ledger just carried that entire fucking film on his shoulders. Rest in peace. And then The Dark Knight Rises is like, well, we're here now. Tom Hardy's like, I'll be a part of this, and the Talia or whatever. Like, and it was just kind of, all right, we're just wrap it up. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it's a move. It looks good. And if it looking good does anything for you, it's good. You know that came out, God, probably 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. But the new Batman, Robert Pattinson, and I don't think he's a bad. I think that he's actually kind of a good pick for Batman. It's just I think he should have been like more in shape. Maybe it's that Batman's just a little too emo for me. I think if the new Batman came out in like 2005 and it was super emo like it is, it would have been way better, or it would have done way better, because that was like when the emo thing was huge, and I think it would have done way better. Now it's just kind of like cringe to me and so boring, and I'm like, whatever. And I get why people love it. I totally do. I'm out. I've outgrown that now. Not that I'm not emo. I love my emo. Don't get me wrong. I love my emo. Don't get me wrong. But I just kind of outgrew it, you know. So I don't know. I guess I just need to watch fucking westerns and old man stuff. I'm just gonna play Red Dead 2 for the rest of my life, and Skyrim, and whack off to pictures of Gandalf. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm kidding about the whack off part. Let's talk about video games. God, this was a movie podcast, wasn't it, so far? Dispatch. I finished my second playthrough, and our love interest was in Visigal, and I feel like that we had a good payoff with her. But unfortunately, like I was playing episode 7 and 8, streaming that, and then my kid was sick, and so I had to like stop like at the beginning of the final episode. And so I had to wait a couple days and then play just episode 8 by itself. Unfortunately for me, I sucked so bad at like the actual game part of it. And this whole run, I like was amazing. I feel like I did really good at like the game, like picking the people, sending the right people out, making the right decisions. This time, I sucked bad at picking out the right people. It was bad. And I did really bad. And so it kind of like put a damper on it, but I think like, you know, for me personally, but the story still worked out how I wanted, you know, and it did what it do. And, you know, just what a great game. And I am looking forward to anything else that Ad Hoc Studio does, no matter what it is. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I hope it's another Dispatch season, though. I really would love to get back into that universe. Speaking of superheroes, Dispatch is better than any of those 3 movies I talked about earlier, like combined better experience. So yeah, it surprised me. It wasn't too flashy, man. It was just artful and cared for. And I think it was like just a good small scale scope narrative. Like it all takes place in Los Angeles. It was like, you know, powerful heroes, but a small stage, and a very basic villain, very basic payoffs with the heroes and the villains. Some love story in there if you want it. You don't have to do that. Love story, I'll say that loosely. Relationships. probably like the it was probably too vulgar. Like some of that wasn't that funny. Like it was trying too hard to be some of it was funny. Then some of it was trying a little too hard maybe, but overall it didn't put a damper on the game and the overall story itself. It was all very interesting. So I like how Invisigal's cool. Like her ability is so cool to me because she goes invisible only when she holds her breath. So it's like you have such a great hero right there who has like limitations. And I feel like when people make heroes and things, like they don't do a very good job of giving them like realistic or not realistic. They don't give them like good limitations. It's like I can just turn invisible infinitely. You know? Like, okay, that's cool. But not as cool as like there's like a cost to like your ability. But in this universe, to everyone's abilities, there's kind of a cost to it. Or in some situations. And I love that. I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool that there's like a cost to like them. It kind of brings it down to earth. It's kind of more like real life, you know, in a lot of ways. Like, whereas like you can be Arnold Schwarzenegger, jacked to the tits, like strongman ripped out of your mind, but you have to pay for that in steroids and in your health and your sleep and relationship. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of more real life that like it's balanced. And where like a lot of times heroes and things like that in movies, like there's no real balance or reckoning or anything. It's like I just exist as this god, and like my repercussions are my feelings, or like I hurt someone's feelings, but like I have no other problems in my life. You know what I mean? I don't know. It really is so well done to me. So I hope they do another. I hope they do another game in that universe. Animal Crossing. I'll talk about. I haven't played a lot of Animal Crossing. I've kind of dropped off a little bit, but they have released a version 3.0 of that game, another update, which is insane because I thought they were going to touch it anymore. And basically, they've given you an entire hotel on your island. So they've extended the pier, and now you can go in there and you can design like 8 rooms. And I guess like campers will just come to your hotel, and I assume it's just an expanded version of like what the camping tent is or whatever, like where you can get campers and then convince them to live on your island. I'm assuming you're going to be able to go to any of these rooms where like little animal visitors are like visiting, and I'm assuming you're going to be able to recruit any of them to your island. So all it is really is like, hey, instead of like you rolling one person every few days that can come to your island, we're going to give you 8. And if you like any of these 8, you can bring them to your island and swap out your people. I'm assuming that's what they're doing. And that's the real reason for that. But there's unlockables there. You know, there's like decorating gameplay. There's already a huge expansion with that game where there's like a DLC where you can go to another island and design rooms and houses for people if you're into that, which I never really engaged in that too much. I don't really decorate my own house in that game. I just kind of direct decorate the island and then try to farm stuff because I'm stupid. I don't know. Taking my jacket off. It's kind of hot. But yeah, so that is what it is. Wuthering Waves. Now, I've been playing as much Wuthering Waves as I can, and I've been trying to dump my gameplay videos. Like I've been recording that on my PlayStation, so there's no commentary or anything like that. And I just try to dump it like to YouTube because I think there's people that come to the stream and there's people on the YouTube channel who like are interested in my Wuthering Waves journey, which there's a lot of game there, man. And that's what I'll give it. I'll give that to them. You won't get bored in Wuthering Waves. There's tons of mini games, big land masses with a lot of stories, a lot of side stories. And so for me, recently I've done the Camellia companion story. I've pushed on the main story and Rensetia or whatever more. So I've done like the Augusta story, and now I'm on the search for yeah. All pretty goonery ladies, but I'll say this, like, well done. It's just well done for like what it is. Like there is effort in it. I think that I've said this 1,000 times. I think the dialogue gets a little repetitive. Like I think that like some of the dialogue between the characters and yourself or whatever, like they'll say something and then they'll say it like 3 times. And it's like, can we just move on? Can we just move on? You've already said that one thing, but I guess they want to get the point across. But there's some interesting concepts in the game from a story perspective. Some of them are silly, but some of them are interesting. And for me, so I pulled Augusta. I decided on this event banner I had my pity pull, and I was going to get a 5-star pretty much, and I got it pretty early, but I decided to pull Augusta. And so I'm not a free-to-play player, but I'm pretty much free-to-play. I've only spent $5. And I'm not going to like dump $100 on this or anything, because I spent all my money on World of Warcraft, which we'll talk about. But yeah, so I did like the $5 where I get like more asteroid every day, like 90 asteroid every day or something for like 30 days. And I was like, all right, that'll help me just do my dailies and get the asteroid, and then I can pull every day. And then, they don't give you a lot of time to pull on these banners. And so for Augusta, I mean, obviously, if you could pull her several times, then she would be much stronger than she is if you just pull her one time. And then she has a weapon that you can pull, which is also separate. And so right now I'm going for the weapon, and I have no pity pulls on that. So I could go all the way up to 80 pulls. Hopefully not, but I'm going to try to get her weapon. But she's going to be like my DPS, my main DPS. And, the way the game works is like for the end game, you kind of want to have a couple different teams. Like there's a couple of different game modes at the end where you kind of need a couple different teams. So right now, my main team is Augusta, who is strong as shit. She is so good compared to Calcharo, who's kind of like the free-to-play DPS guy. She is very freaking good, and I don't even have her echoes built out or anything. And I have Mortifi, which is like our middleman there, the fire guy with the guns. He's fine. And then Shorekeeper. And that's kind of my squad. And honestly, with where I am, I could probably just roll Augusta the whole time and not even play as the others, and that would be fine. I pull a Shorekeeper out to heal every once in a while, but like, bro, I'm just doing my dailies and pushing the story, and she's just slamming it. So I'm going to get her weapon. I don't like her weapon's not like there's some characters in the game where like you need their weapon. Like Frolova, you kind of need to have her weapon, apparently. But her, you don't have to have it. But I'm like, I'm going to round it out. And then in the next couple weeks, the big character that's coming out is Ameth, which is a girl, like a lady who like has a mech suit. And she's going to be like a big DPS character or whatever. I don't know. I mean, for me, the teams, like of all the characters that I know, the people that I want is Augusta, and I want Carlotta. So if Carlotta ever comes back, like I may just save up and get Carlotta. Depending on how much I'm playing the game, if the Ameth mech girl, if she can have a rotation where she's like good with some of the free to play characters that you get a lot of, like the 4 stars, then I might try to pull her. That's just going to be my standard. So like with Augusta, I can pull Yuno right now, Augusta, or I could pull Mornier or whatever her name is. And like, I'm not going to pull Yuno because I don't think I have enough time. Like, I don't think I would actually get lucky enough to pull her. And if I did, I don't even really care. Like, she's fine, she's cool, but I don't love her gameplay. Like some of them are very powerful, but I don't like how it feels. And so, if I don't like how it feels, I'm not going to go for it. Like Cardathea. And I know I'm just saying words right now if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but Cardathea is super powerful of a character, but you need other 5 stars to make her great. You need to get her to like S3, which basically means like you need to get like 2 or 3 copies of her. Here's the thing. I don't like the way she feels to play, and she's super powerful. Like, don't get me wrong. She blows up the whole screen, but it just feels awkward. I just don't like it. So I was like, I tried to pull her, and I was like, I did not get any good pulls on her, so I saved up my pity for Augusta, and I was like, I'm kind of glad that happened that way. I'm kind of glad I didn't get her, because Augusta just rolls way better with some 4 stars. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I got Augusta, and then so yeah, I really want Carlotta next, but we'll see. We're gonna see what happens with Ameth, and I'm gonna try to get her weapon, and I'm just going to continue the story and continue on going on as we go in Wuthering Waves and see what happens. Final game I want to talk about here that I've been playing is the Burning Crusade Anniversary Pre-Patch, which I've been excited for a long time, and I have started up. And I'll say, like, the first day I didn't even play. And I'm glad that I didn't, because one of my kid was sick. But the pre-patch went live on a Tuesday, or was supposed to. They took the servers down for 24 hours. Well, 24 hours, yes. So the servers were supposed to come on at 3 p.m. my time. They didn't come on until 3 a.m. my time. So the servers actually stayed down for like 36 hours. So I'm so glad I didn't try to like stream and like, oh, we're going to be here and do it. And because it didn't happen. But the next day I got on and I rolled a Blood Elf Paladin, and I rolled dice and coins and everything for male or female, and it rolled female. And I was like, in my heart, I don't want to play as a female character, but if this is what the universe wants, I'll do it. And so rolled it, and then I started off in Eversong Wood. I gave that character all of my goodies, like a fiery sword, bags, some gear that had stats on it that I'd saved up from other characters, and was just kind of ripping through some of the early content. And then I rested her, and then I came back, and in the kind of the main hub where the inn is, when you start that part of the map, there was like a level 60 shaman or something on the Alliance side that just kept killing all the NPCs like for hours. And so everyone's just kind of standing around waiting for these NPCs to respawn so that they can turn in their quest. And these NPCs take 12 minutes. And this guy had been at it for hours. And what he would do is he would just be invisible, and then he would just come on invisible and one-shot the NPC, and then no one could turn in their quest. Now, I was able to turn in most of my quest, and a lot of people were crashing the heck out. They're like, I'm going to switch servers. It was actually kind of funny. I took some screenshots of everybody crashing out. But I was like, hey, it's PvP. This is like, it sucks, but it's kind of part of it. You know, you have to solution your way out of this. You have to get some level 60 horde to come up here and help out, which they tried to, but like we really need to, if like one hunter came up there with a flare gun, it ends. But no one like made friends to do that or ask any hunters. I didn't have any hunters online. I didn't really care. I'd turned in my quest, but like, I think the problem could be solved, you know, but that's PvP. And like, I'm not saying what that guy was doing wasn't like a dick move or something, but I'm just saying like, you know, this is the open wild world that we're living in. So that didn't really bother me. But then I started to quest like in the zone outside of that. And there were so many people, which is cool because you want a lot of people questing. But unfortunately, like there was a lot of quests where you needed to kill like certain animals or like pick up certain boxes or whatever. And the spawn rate was so low for the amount of people that I was getting really fatigued by it, even though it's a beautiful zone and everything. So I had to skip some quests, and I was like, God, man, and I tried to group up with people, and they were kind of being like antisocial. And I was like, God, this is kind of ass, you know? And so I got to level 9, and I was like, you know what? I'm level 9. I'm halfway to 10. I think I can go into Ragefire Chasms. Let me port to Orgrimmar. So I got to Orgrimmar, and then I went down to Ragefire Chasms, and like there was no one boosting, which, you know, mages can't boost anymore, which is fine. But I figured there'd be like some paladins maybe that were boosting, or some people that would still be like, hey, I'll run it. You know, we're farming it. Or maybe just some people standing around that would get me in the group. If I got to level 10, I probably could have found a group, but there was no one there. And I was like asking the general chat, trade chat, you know, does anybody want to run this? Like no one would run it or whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I started walking towards the Barrens. And I was like, well, I guess I'm out here. I guess I'll start getting my flight paths. And then Sandingo in my Twitch chat was like, hey man, you know, you could boost right now. Like he didn't say this, but he said it without saying. He's like, you could boost right now, and you could start PvPing for your gear and be kind of set up for TBC like when it comes out, because everyone is grinding Alterac Valley. Everyone's grinding Honor to get their gear. So like, even if you level up and everything, that's cool. You can do that. But like if you start at 58, you can actually go into TBC and have like pretty good gear and experience like the game that way. And I was like, and so I just kind of had a gut check, and I was like, you know, I don't have a lot of time. I don't want to boost. I don't want to give them money, but I do want to play TBC, and I don't want to like, and I don't want to, it's not me like FOMO, like I'm missing out. It's just like, I have leveled up a lot of characters to at least level 30. And then I had a warrior who I got to 60, and I had a undead warlock who I got to 60 recently, like in 2025. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go to 60 again, because it's just going to take me so long and everyone else is skipping. And I kind of hate that. Like I kind of hate that. I hate that they did this, but they did it for a reason, and it worked because I did it. And I ended up getting like the $80 one. And I was always looking at the 40 and the $80 one. And then you can just pay to 58 boost is like a 60. And I was like, I'll just get the mount or whatever. Like I'll just do 80, whatever. I don't feel good about it, but I did it. And I don't blame anybody for doing it. But it's like they came around the final hour and they were like, hey, because originally it was like, you cannot boost Blood Elf Pal. You cannot boost Blood Elves. You cannot boost Draenei. You can boost anybody else to 58, but until the game starts, you can't boost those characters. And like, so the kind of the community was like, all right, if we're playing Blood Elves, we're all going to kind of like, there's going to be people to level with. And to be fair, there are people to level with. There are plenty of people that are not boosting, but you have split the community wide open, because at the very, like, the week before pre-patch, they're like, actually, you can boost. We don't care. You can boost to 58 as a paladin. We don't care. Like day one pre-patch, you can do it. And it just completely changed how to engage with the game. And it's way too much money, and I feel like an idiot, but whatever. I'm now grinding PvP. And I don't know. Like, I've done Alterac Valley and all that stuff so much, but I'm actually now playing Arathi Basin and Warsong Gulch a little bit, which is, you know, nice. And so for me, like, now I'm at 58, I'm still not 60, and then now the game is like, do I play Ret or do I play Prod? And what do I do? And I've been researching, and I think as I go into the Outlands, I'm going to play a Protection Paladin and do some AoE farming, and I don't know. That's what I think I'm going to do. It just seems more fun, and it's not something I've ever done before. I've done a lot of Ret Paladin before. But the Ret Paladin seal twisting doesn't seem that bad. But in PvP, I pretty much have to be Ret. Like for the gear and stuff that I have, I can't really do anything as a prop Paladin. But I went ahead and got like the dual spec, and so I'm going to kind of ramp up to that. But you have to farm. So basically, like honor, right? You need to be a level 60, and you need about 80,000 honor to get full top-notch PvP gear that will take you into the Burning Crusade quite nicely. And that's just like the easiest way to get really good gear. You could raid, you can raid and get really good gear. And there's some specific items. If you want to be like an AoE prop paladin, for example, there's some specific items you can farm. You can go level some other way. But the most efficient way to get your gear, to get really good gear and to level up and stuff, is to do PvP. And there's a quest you can do that's repeatable where you can turn in your marks from the 3 battlegrounds, and like, I've leveled up 40%, turning that in like maybe 10 times. So, I mean, I have starting today, I have 14 days left, and I think I have 17,000 honor. I'll probably be fine. I didn't play it all today. Probably be fine. The leveling up is the thing that I'm worried about. Is Arathi Basin and Warsong Gulch can take a long time, potentially, depending on what happens. Like, if you get into a weird game, there's no timers. Like in retail with PvP, there's timers, and like whoever's winning at the end of the time wins. With this and TBC, it's like you got to capture 3 flags, and this game ain't ending until 3 flags are captured by somebody. And so far, I haven't gotten in any games that take a long time. Same with Arathi Basin and all that. And so I'm just kind of like, all right, we're fine. Alterac Valley's going fast. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but it is different. So yeah, but with a paladin, I'm like, do I get a sword and a shield, or do I get a 2-hand? Because like that's going to make it go from 80,000 to like 100,000 if I want to get both. I want to get like a Ret weapon and prot weapons. So I think I'm just going to start with prot weapons, and just if I play enough to get the Ret weapon, I'll get the Ret weapon. If I don't, it'll be fine. I'll loot something. But yeah, so that's just kind of, the game has changed. You know, it's kind of looking like I said, in the back of my mind, I was looking forward to like leveling, but then I realized it was just not going to be the way it was in Classic. And the community was kind of split between what everyone was doing. Because like if the whole server was leveling, like if there was no, like, here's what I would prefer. What I would prefer is Burning Crusade, and there's no boost. And everyone that wants to be a Blood Elf, you got to start at level 1. Or you're not, you got to be level 1. You got to start at level 1. And you got to go through, because then the community would facilitate getting through the content without as much of a slog. But since the community split, it's a little sloggy. And then it's also sucks because there's like a tight window where you only have 14 days in the pre-patch to get really good honor to go into the expansion. Which my Warlock, who's a 60, already has pretty good armor, right? So he's like going to be fine. But yeah, you know, like it is what it is. So that's where we are, and I'll be playing that. I mean, I'll probably be splitting my time between Wuthering Waves and WoW for a little bit. I will say, like, I still have Octopath Traveler that I want to finish and need to finish. And then the other game that I keep kicking around in my head is Hogwarts Legacy. Like, I beat that when it came out, which would have been 2024. And my daughter has been making me watch Harry Potter almost every day. And I don't know, man. I'm just like, I watch Harry Potter. Every time I watch it, I'm like, I want to play Hogwarts Legacy again. So I'm thinking I might try to do that and mod it up and play that. I don't know. That's a long game too. That's a long game, bro. So I don't know. That might last me until GTA comes out, though. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. That's just kind of what's itching me. When we take a break, and then we'll we'll come back and we'll go over the news. All right, so let's get into the news. I saw this shit and I thought it was funny. So in the Pentagon, our Pentagon, the government, the government, the thing, our overlords. Pentagon is interesting to me because for two things. Three things. One, I don't think a plane hit the Pentagon. All right, moving to the next one. I love the Pentagon tracker that's on like X and Twitter and on the internet, and it's like the Papa John's tracker, where people look at like the influx of like pizza deliveries at the Pentagon, and they predict events based on that. So like if there's like a lot of orders of Papa John's to the Pentagon at like on a Sunday, then everybody's like, oh, something's about to happen on Monday. We're about to blow up Iran or something. You know what I mean? Like that's entertaining to me. That people look at like food delivery and they're like, oh my God, something's happening, which is probably quite accurate. I mean, they're working on something, right? Like you don't come in on a Saturday night at 3 a.m. for nothing, I guess. But then the third is now you can now gamble inside the Pentagon. There's a new like Pokemon card gotcha machine in there, basically. And it's like absurd. I mean, like it's absurd that these machines exist anyway, where like they're like gambling, like vending machines where you can put in an absurd amount of money and try to pull like crypto or cards or shit like that. But in the Pentagon, they have this huge one now where like it's like you can put in like $100-200 and try to pull like a Charizard, I guess. And like the thing I think is like this is like you just think about that and you're like, this is like some Chinaman here has put this in to spy on the Pentagon, right? Like that's what I think. I think, hey man, did they put in this like this Japanese or Asian gambling machine to spy on us? Who put this in? Why would they put this in? Why does the Pentagon need a gotcha Pokemon card machine? Why does this need to happen? And there's really nothing else to say except it's absurd and hilarious. And like was there anybody who said like we need this? Like were there people at the Pentagon? They're like, you know what would be really, look, man, I hate coming in here at 3 a.m. and eating all this Papa John's and then blowing up Iraq or whatever. But you know what would make it okay is if we had like a Pokemon card machine. If I could just drop like at the end of my shift, like listening in on Vladimir Putin's conversations at the end of my shift. If I could just fucking spend $100 and pull out a Weedle or a fucking Snorlax or, I'm trying to think of a birdie. That's not right. A chibi? God, I should know this. We'll just say a Squirtle. That's one. If I could just do like, I'm so toast after like working at the Pentagon, dude. If I could just pull like $100 worth of like Squirtle, that'd be so good, dude. And the other guys are like, fuck yeah, man. We should talk to somebody about that. Yeah. I'll talk to my man. I'll talk to the director. Yeah, I'll talk to the director. We're gonna get one of these Pokemon card machines in here. Logan Paul says this is real money. Logan Paul says these Pokemon cards are like fucking like that's where the money is. Screw crypto. This is where the money is. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We live in a clown world. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell. That's the thing. I don't have to tell anybody that. Of any age at any time. We just all know it. But yeah, it would be cool to pull like a Charizard though. In their defense. Honestly, if I think about it, if I could be in the Pentagon eating a bunch of Papa John's with my bros in a very secure location, and I'm like, hey guys, you want to go drop a couple $100 on some Pokemon cards? Let's go play Pokemon on our break. Sounds like the best job ever. To be fair, as absurd as it is, I don't want to be too stuffy. I don't want to be too corporate here. It sounds pretty cool. Anyway, I wonder if we get robbed. Like, could you ever rob that machine? They got security cameras everywhere. Like, you're working with like spies and shit, right? Maybe like people inside the building, like, could they Mission Impossible it? Like, could they like? Is there like a couple of Ethan Hunts, like spy dudes who like come through the Pentagon every once in a while, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna like go from upside down, and my buddy's gonna block the cameras, and I'm gonna pull a Pokemon out of the back of this machine, and like no one's gonna know anything happened, and I gotta get out within 10 minutes, and then gas is gonna fill up the room." Like, is that? Because like this is the place, because the Pentagon is the place where that can happen. This isn't a mall. Like you're in like Thief City. You're in like where people steal data, people hack, people steal, kill. I mean, like you're there, bro. You're at the place where we train. I would guess that's where we train people to do things like that. At some point, right? I don't know. Nintendo Switch 2 is probably going to hike their prices. Which in the world of 2025 and 2026, the best time to buy a console was yesterday because everything goes up. Same with houses and eggs and everything. Everything. Like, we should have all bought everything. Maxed out, like in the history of America, as far as I know, like there's always been a case where you can look back and you could say, hey, if I would have just bought X, or I would have bought Y, or I would have bought Z, I would be sitting pretty now. I would that would have been a smart move. I don't know if there's ever been in the history of America where it's like 5 years ago in 2020, if you would have bought anything, fucking anything, just buy whatever you want, as much of it as you can. It could be anything. It could be food. It could be gas, cars, houses, commodities, clothes. Buy anything you want and hold it 5 years, and you will like 2 or 3x at the very least on whatever it is that you bought. It's just how it feels, you know? Like everything's going to, all the consoles have gone up. In the Switch, I mean, like Nintendo Switch 2, like they're no exception. Everything runs on processors, video cards, and RAM. And the big story of 2025 at the end of the year was like RAM has like gone up like 10x or something. Like there's video cards and computers being sold now with like DDR3 RAM, dude. I think, are we on like DDR6? We're like on 5 or 6. Like we're out. Like I have 64 gigs of RAM in my PC right now. I could sell that. And when I got this PC, that was probably like, I bet the RAM in there was probably like $125 for 64 gigabytes. Now I could rip those things out and probably sell them for like $600 used. What the fuck? What the heck, bro? But yeah, I mean, like, this is a rumor. Like, the launch price of a Switch is like $450, I think. It'll go to $550. I mean, I just like every other console's going up. I just can't imagine they won't go up too. I'm really interested to see what the Steam machine or whatever. Like, what is that going to cost? Because, dude, if they come in at like 500, man, I think they'll really make waves. I know they probably can't, but they make so much money. Maybe they could. Maybe they could eat the cost. just to get inside everyone's houses. I don't know. That's not how you do business, though, is it? Isn't it all about profits? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But that's the one I really care about. Like, I don't even know if I would get one. I don't really need one. I have a good PC. I have a PS5 Pro, an Xbox Series X. I have it all. My wife has a Switch too. Like, we're good. But I don't know, man. Like, I just really want to see what that Steam one's going to be, because like it's going to take another company like Steam to shake things up. Like Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, they're not going to shake anything else up for the rest of my lifetime. I just cannot imagine. They all make too much money, and they've already all won in their own way. And I know you could say, well, Xbox is failing. Well, Xbox is like, they gave up, and they're like, all right, put Halo on PlayStation. Who cares? Everything's an Xbox now. The cloud, which could have went out. And I hate to do like in the same vein, it's like Bezos is out there fucking like, in the future, you'll just rent your PC. You're not gonna own an Xbox or a console or a computer. You're just gonna rent. You're just gonna have a subscription to rent like whatever power you want through the cloud. Like, do you need a super fast computer? You can rent that through the cloud. You can rent it through the cloud now. You don't have to. And like Tesla is doing like their FSD or whatever their auto drive on the Tesla, where it drives itself. Like, that's gonna be a subscription model now. Everything's just gonna be subscription. We're just like Cyberpunk. I hate to say this, but the most realistic future for us is Judge Dredd and Cyberpunk. And that's depressing. I wish it would go any other way, really. Even Fallout seems more... I still haven't seen the show yet. I mean, that's on our list. Like, we'll probably catch up on season 2 of Fallout, and I'll probably talk about it here. But yeah, man, it's like, God, Cyberpunk is just the most depressing. And it just feels like that's the way we're going. Like, it's all just like, the world is just corpos. It's not really countries. It's just like corporations are fighting. It's like, which corpo do you like? Do you like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? Who's your favorite? Do you like Mark Zuckerberg or Jack Dorsey? Who's your favorite rich tech guy? Do you like Sam Altman? Who's your favorite rich person? Who's your favorite rich person? Like, that's kind of like what Cyberpunk is. And it's like, God. Like, when I was growing up, we didn't really know who rich people were. And no one cared. Like, you would be like, oh, that guy's a football player. He's in the NFL. He probably makes a lot of money. Oh, that guy's a doctor. He probably makes money. It was like, there were a few celebrities who were celebrities because they were rich. And like, being rich was like a byproduct of some other value you provided. And now I feel like it's just, being rich is just like the popular thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, all this could be me. Let me know in the comments. Other thing we'll talk about real fast is, God, guys, GTA 6, man. This is the game. The one game that I want to play is GTA 6, right? Of all the games that are coming out, like even Elder Scrolls 6, I've kind of given up on, and like on X, there's a lot of X developers that are like, oh man, Kurt left. Or like, I don't remember this last name. Kurt left. I don't have any hope. Like, no one has hope in Elder Scrolls 6, and after Starfield, it's like, yeah, I don't think this is going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to, man, I don't know. I know it's taken them, I know they've been working on it, kind of for like 20 years or whatever the hell, like however long Skyrim's been. Like, they've been working on it probably for a while or something, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like, Bethesda, like Todd Howard, they just seem like they're kind of out of gas. They've peaked, and that's fine, because like Michael Jordan peaked. Tom Brady peaked. Tiger Woods peaked. Todd Howard peaked. And now, and I love Todd Howard. I will always think of Todd Howard with joy in my heart. The memes, the hype, like, I've spent a lot of my life playing Todd Howard and Bethesda games, and will never be anything but a fan of Todd Howard. But sadly, gotta call it what it is. And I think that Microsoft and Bethesda are just going to be too woke on this, and it's going to be too awkward, and the vision's going to be not there, because, and I think it's too like a product of like the generations that come into work. Like, the people that made Skyrim were like of a different generation. They were like Gen X and millennials, maybe, and a couple of boomers in there. And this is not hate to like the youngins. This is not hate to Gen Z and all of them. It's just like, but now you probably have a lot of millennials that are like, you know, leading, and they're tired, and they're like fucking like, God, I don't want to work anymore. You know, like that's kind of like our millennial, like the millennials have been through so much. Like we're like 40, we're like in our 40s, and we're just kind of checked out, which is fine, but also does not breed the best products, which is, fuck it. I mean, like that's where we are. It's where we are, you know, like there's not as much reward for the individual to strive to be the best when you can't afford houses and food and cars. Like you feel like that, you know, you probably should. But also like this, you know, again, society is kind of a facade of like safety and stuff like that. I mean, we don't live in the real world out in the stars and in the sky and the forest, right? I mean, we all have it pretty well off in our places, but so the millennials, like, you know, they're kind of overall just tired, you know. And then the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they come in and they're like, what is it to be anything? Like they're just like, they are so displaced on reality that like they don't even know what's good. And like they know what's good to them, I think, but like they don't know what's good to like the masses, because they're like, what is the masses anymore? Like when you were making Skyrim, right? Like if you were making Skyrim in 2012 or whatever, it's probably like 2011, 2012. Like the internet was definitely alive, and we're definitely like, we're starting to separate and segregate what music we listen to, what movies we watch, and things like that. But now it is, I can talk to 10 different people down the street, and maybe one of them will be like, know what bands I'm listening to, and I might know what bands they're listening to, and I might know what show they're listening to. I might know what podcast they're listening to. And yeah, it's totally fine, right? There's a few things that everybody listens to Joe Rogan or whatever. Like I get that, but I'm saying like it used to be that we were all kind of like in the same lane in a way. Black, white, Christian, not Christian, it didn't matter. We were all kind of on the same page. And I'm not saying that that's like good. Like it's not necessarily good for creativity, but I'm saying like I would hate to be someone who's making like Elder Scrolls 6 or GTA 6. And it's like, we have to appeal to the masses. What are the freaking masses, dude? Like the Minecraft kids? The Fortnite kids / adults? Roblox kids? Millennials? The Arc Raider people? Like who World of Warcraft people? Like who are we trying to get here? Who I got here? What am I doing? Who am I selling to? Everyone? Well, that's not going to land, because there's too many games and too much attention getting for like a long form. Like Elder Scrolls 6, if nothing else, will be a long form, probably slow RPG. That is like, if there's nothing else that I could guess about the game, I bet it's going to be that. I bet it's going to be a lot of content, a lot of quests, long, big, slow RPG. And it's like, who wants that now? Like, how do I market this and give this to the people? And then who are the right writers for this? And like, you know, it's just, you know, again, I think like the people working on it are probably so not connected that it's probably not going to shake out to be like a uniformed thing. Like the vision in Starfield was kind of good, but it seemed a little disjointed. And I think Elder Scrolls 6 will feel disjointed, probably really bad. I hope not. But it just feels like you got to get a lot of, like, I know like diversity is our strength, which is just bullshit. I mean, let's just be real. It's not. It can be, like it could be in very specific scenarios. But like if you want to make a good product or an entertaining movie or game or song or something, you really need to get a bunch of people, like you need to get a few people that like are on the same page. Like for instance, if I were going to like write a country song, that's like, and I'm like, I need 4 dudes or women to help me write a country song. I'm not going to go to like Chicago and go to the inner cities and be like, hey, I'm not going to go to Canada. I'm not going to go to Australia. Now I know Keith Urban's a thing, but like that's fake or whatever. But like, I'm not going to go to like Germany and be like, hey man, here I'm at Oktoberfest. You might want to write a country song. And like, look, I get it. In a world like that might could work. And you might be like, well, no, that would make it interesting. But what I'm saying is, if you want to sell something to like-minded people, you kind of need like-minded people making the thing to sell to the people that you want to sell to. All I'm saying. Anyway, that was a long tangent, and I apologize. In Rockstar North for GTA 6, that was a long-ass tangent. I'm tired. I'm sorry. There was a boiler malfunction, and there was basically like an explosion in the building. And so I think they had to like shut down the building, and like there's no injuries or anything, but like the building like literally blew up in there somewhere. And it's like, this is not like, is this even a talking point? It kind of is, man, because like now everyone's on the internet is like, oh, is this going to delay the game? Oh my God. They fired all those people for the union. There's a bunch of developers that like left, like, because they shut down like a branch of the developers that were making GTA 6 and trying to finish it because they were trying to unionize. And then now you have like an explosion in the building. And it's like, what the hell? Is this game ever going to come out? Is it going to get delayed? And like, I don't know, man, like when things like this happen, it may not be a big thing at all. An explosion in your building may not be a big thing at all. It probably is on morale. Like, I don't know, if I worked at the building and something blew up and I'd survived, and like even if there's no injuries, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to go back in there, bro. I'd be kind of stressed if nothing else. All eyes are on you, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so touch and go with GTA 6. Like, I just won't be shocked if it gets delayed again. But it's like the one game I want to play. I'll say that. The other thing I'll talk about that has been spinning around the internet, and everyone in my comments on YouTube and stuff like that has been hitting me up saying like, dude, Fallout 3 and New Vegas are going to drop at the end of Season 2. At the end of Season 2, it's going to drop. And like everyone is so freaking confident on that because there's like Steam glitches where it shows like 13 games in the Fallout series and there's only like 11 listed. There's like an Amazon countdown and nobody knows what the countdown is for. Fallout 3 has all been confirmed. Like Fallout 3 Remastered has like been something that people have been saying is going to happen since Oblivion Remastered. And with Oblivion Remastered, people were calling that out a couple weeks before, and then it happened. And so, you know, if that happened and they were like, you know, again, like a week or two before, it's like Oblivion is going to drop in 2 weeks, remastered. And people were saying, hey, Fallout 3 Remastered is going to drop at the end of the show. You kind of tend to believe it because it already happened. And New Vegas is still a speculation, but people were like, no, they're going to drop New Vegas. They're going to drop both of them at the same time. So a lot of people are kind of sitting on their hands and like, what are they going to fucking do? And for me, I don't know if I have time to care, but I will say this. Mrs. Dalorrian will definitely be happy about either or. New Vegas or Fallout 3. Just 2 days ago, she was like, you know, Fallout New Vegas was actually really good. And she started spouting off all the reasons why she liked New Vegas. And I was like, yeah, you know, it's pretty good. I didn't play a lot of New Vegas. I played a lot of 3, but she was like, this is why it was good. This is why it was good. And she's like, because you could really have a bad ending. And I don't like that your characters start off as like kind of nothing. And the factions were better and things like that. And I was like, well, you know, yeah, I hear you. And so, yeah, so she, you know, she's all in. Like she would love both. If you said, which one do you want, Fallout 3 or New Vegas? I mean, I think she would say both, but the way she was talking a couple days ago, it's almost like she'd want New Vegas remastered first. But either way, I'm excited for her if it happens. And if we have time between these children to continue, if we can eke out 30 minutes maybe to split up some episodes of Fallout Season 2, we will. But at the end of the day, we're so freaking zonked. You know, and we still have a child that sleeps like in a little bassinet kind of thing in our room. And it's like, all right, we don't watch TV, but we don't want to, you know, we don't have to turn it loud. And it's like, oh, are you exhausted? Yeah, I'm exhausted. Okay. I'm like, well, I'm going to go stream or something. And you do that. It's like, okay, all right. So yeah, if we can make it, we're going to watch that show. That's like next on the list, but maybe we'll finish it before a drop would happen. But boy, I hope it does drop. More games are never a problem. It does kind of stress me out because there's so many games I want to play, but I'd rather have them there and just have a backlog than not have them there. So it is what it is. But yeah, this is where I'm at with movies and stuff. I don't think there's going to be any more Marvel movies that I watch right now. I haven't seen any that like seem they're going to be connected to the Doomsday Avengers or whatever. Like I'm only going to watch the Avenger ones. I mean, I know there's the Captain America with the Harrison Ford Red Hulk. I've had the few friends in my life that I have been like, do not watch that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, oh, but who knows? I might watch it. Shit, why not? Why not? I watched those other shitty movies. I don't know. I might watch the new Superman, the James Gunn Superman. Maybe I should watch that. We'll see. But yeah, as always, you can reach out to me on DalorrianTV@gmail.com. DalorrianTV@gmail.com for any comments or tweaks or questions or feedback. And then you can also comment here on the Spotify if you're there. You can also comment on the YouTube if you're there. And then also on the Discord. We have a decently healthy Discord going now. You can always come back in and say what you want wherever you want. But there's a feedback and questions channel specifically for things like this. So if I got anything wrong, correct me. And if you just have any questions or if you have any suggestions or thoughts on anything we've talked about here, let me know. But I hope you guys have a great week. And we'll do it again next time.